Well, here I am in the meadow. You have to excuse me, look, the light is so bright coming through the mist. Yeah, I came in, I come up here as often as I can just to have a look and see what's happening, and I'm excited today because we didn't cut this last year. This is the wildflower meadow. We didn't cut this last year, and I thought it was going to be virtually impossible to see what comes up now, but we have a meadow full of cowslips. I know it's really hard to see them, but you can see the little dots of yellow. They'll be all over because this is covered. We have thousands in here. And I remember there was a group came round visiting a few years ago. I was digging in there, and I could hear one of them on the phone to someone else, and they said, "Oh, it's amazing! I can't believe the amount of cowslips that are here." But it has gone for, you know, they have spread really well here. And I was looking at this and I was just reminded, back when I was a child, various things seemed okay. Like, for example, there wasn't any drink and drive laws. And I know people who used to drink and drive. Yeah, they're parents of friends of mine. But also, there was things like at Stonehenge, you could buy a little hammer from the little green hut, and you could go and chip a piece of the stone off and take it home. But one of the things was people used to pick bluebells and cowslips until they became quite endangered. And so in the 1970s they brought in a law, I must have been about 10, that to make it illegal to pick wildflowers, because obviously people were going into the bluebell woods and taking loads of bluebells and taking them home. And I've watched as the species have increased, like the bluebells have increased, the cowslips have increased. I can't think of any of the others offhand, but there are other plants that are quite endangered. So yeah, it's great to see. I was also, as I thought about that, I was also reminded of possibly why I feel so connected to the earth. Is that when I was a child, my parents, when I was little, you know, little baby and toddler, my parents just used to take me out into the woods when I was a child. There's various photographs, because my father was a photographer. That was his kind of hobby, and he just used to take shots all the time. So until he became a photographer for the Wiltshire Fire Brigade, as well as designing all their fire engines, because he was a mechanic basically. That's what he was trained as, but he loved photography. And yeah, so we'd go into the woods. So obviously I would feel I grew up with the woods. Another thing was that while my mum was pregnant with me, we used to go to motor racing, and I love the sound of motor racing. I wondered where that one had come from, because I love the onboard cameras on the bikes and the onboard cameras in the racing cars. I love that bit of it, and I love, yeah, I know, awful sport to love. There you go, there's some thoughts from the past.